Ning Fei is a absolute goat in Destiny Rising. And I want to show you the build that I'm using and that I would recommend for a lot of you. Again, with Hell Heist coming in the near future, there is a good chance that Ning Fei is also going to be even more god tier than he already is. So if you're not interested in her, then I would definitely recommend you working on Ning Fei, because you should always have at least one very solid arc, or really just one hero for each of the different elements at your disposal in your top 3. So for Ning Fei, he's my choice because he is sick. And let's talk about it. So first things first, I want to talk about a few different things. So I used to recommend the Wolf Pack as his gun. I personally really liked having the Void along with, I'm not going to try to say this, along with his exotic. But a lot of you actually recommended the Kulfi. Kulfi. So I decided to go ahead and try it out. I did. And I do like it a lot more. Now, some notable differences between the two is that obviously this one is going to be arc. So now you have double arc. So you don't get that different like variety, if you will, with the elements. You also get less bullets in each mag, but you do more damage with the bullets. So it's a bit of a balance. If you hit your shots, kid, you'll do more damage. I did get a god tier roll on it. So for the god tier rolls, I would recommend Syncopation, which is going to be every 4th round fire deals 320% damage. Damage to light bearers is increased greatly. Is greatly reduced, excuse me. And then Annihilation is another really good one that I'd recommend for the god tier. So that's going to be the weapon deals increased damage based on how low the target's health is, up to 45%. And then this one is static. Obviously, the weapon gains plus 25% minimum damage outside of its effective range. Approaching targets grants plus 25 sword charge rate. And then it just has higher damage and high recoil. So it's actually not terribly. I play on controller, but I also play on my phone a lot, especially if I'm out and about. The recoil is not hard to manage at all. And obviously, you want to make sure you're getting the best perks that you can. Obviously, I only have the one, which is why I only have one of the exotics up to level 10. And I'm getting increasing syncopation. But anyway, my goal is to get god tiers on all these, but the exotic mods are just so hard to get, and I've gotten very unlucky with these. Now, a lot of players will debate this, that is the best gun for him in terms of exotics going to be his auto crossbow, or is it going to be the Huckleberry? Some people say that the Kulfi fully maxed out is just straight up better than the Huckleberry until the Huckleberry gets maxed out. But honestly, like, if it's that close, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, the auto crossbow is just so good in terms of the 3 bullet damage that it does. I like this a lot. It's such a great way of shredding the rapid shriekers or whatever. So I like this combination the best. I think it's the best. I'm going to stand on business and die on this sword that I think this is it in terms of the best options for him, at least currently, until they add more. But again, this is what I would recommend for you. We talked about the god rolls, obviously. Now, relic abilities. Pretty straightforward if you're not aware. So he does do the lightning strike slam, where he does a pretty massive jump. You can also use this to cover ground. And then his clones will also attack. So the idea is that you want to use your clones first, and then you use your strike, and their clones will attack with you. Speaking of clones, if you're not sure what those are, so he does have side trick, which is dodging and creates a clone. Clones constantly launch chain lightning attacks, and being near one grants Ning Fei acceleration and damage resist. When a clone deals damage, it also heals both itself and Ning Fei. So he gets healing a pretty decent amount too. His ultimate is going to be Arts of the Staff. Basically, you run around and just beat people up with your staff. He's pretty sick. And then his weapon mastery, you basically get Overloaded Arc, which is going to be a little bit of like a change. Well, I guess it says it right here. Striking Overload Disarray 3 times, clear the stacks, and triggers Overload Tremor. Generates chain lightning that deals arc damage equal to the total damage of the previous 3 overloaded arc hits times 66%, up to 5 combatants within a 10-meter radius. Basically, he also does a ton of chain lightning himself. So it's not just his clones, he also does it himself. And it's so strong. And you can see it actually goes up to 60% from 40%. So a lot of AoE damage. He is by far, because this also is like a bit of a movement ability as well. He gets a ton of movement ability. He has a ton of AoE damage, and he is obviously going to be god tier in anything that requires quick clearing. In terms of his artifacts, these are the ones that I would recommend. So I use Nourishing Pack, which is going to be the summons restore 20% health. Okay. Then Healing Veil, so casting movement abilities instantly restore 16% health. So just anytime you use or cast a movement, which is going to be both of his abilities, it's just going to heal you for 16%. Not bad. Now we go to the damage side. So Rampaging Pact summons grant the wielder plus 33% damage bonus for 6 seconds. This one, let's put an asterisk on and come back to it. You get way more value from this if you upgrade. Let's remove the tact. We're going to explain it now. You get way more value from this once you upgrade his artifacts. Not his artifacts. What is it called? His talent tree. Because his talent tree, I forgot at which point, but it actually allows you to use 2 summons. So instead of having just 1 up and wait for the cooldown, you can actually do 2. So you can space them out if you a little bit to basically have a higher uptime of this plus 33% damage. So very good once you unlock that talent. So then Valiant Veil is what the other one I use. So casting movement abilities grants plus 25% damage bonus for 5 seconds. Again, both of his abilities are movement speed abilities, and it's really, 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 really good. This is pretty straightforward for the guild. Gilding, I max it out because he's a beast. What else can we talk about? Talent tree is goated. So again, he gets it's just like no matter where you are, it's just gonna be value. So side tricks, max numbers is charged up to 2 from 1. So you get that in the first one. Number 2 is Ning Fei will gain invisibility for 2.5 seconds after casting side trick. So after he casts a summon, he then also becomes invisible for 2.5 seconds. And then once he attacks or it expires, he gains 15% damage bonus for 3 seconds, which is sick, coming out of invisibility and just blowing people up, especially in PvP. Increase the damage of lightning strike used by Ning Fei and his clones by 40 and 20% respectively. So he's just gaining 40% more damage on lightning strike. Crazy. Overloading arc and overloaded tremor deals 30% increased damage to the first target. Again, this is your weapon mastery. And then at 5, reduces the super energy consumption of Arts of Staff by 30% and increases the damage of its final strike by 20%. Last but not least, when Ning Fei uses Art of Staff to attack, his clones are also use Art of Staff, which is basically his ultimate. So your clones are also going to be using your ultimate, which is crazy. And because you got the 5th one, your last strike will do 20% more damage for you and your other ones, dealing 20% of Ning Fei's damage. So it's only 20% of your total damage, but again, they're doing it, which is sick. I can't wait to get that. He is absolutely god tier. And that's Ning Fei, guys. So those are the relics, the artifacts, everything in between, the god tier roles that I would recommend. Again, this could change at any point, but again, right now, he is just meta on so many different game modes. You just can't beat it. So if you like Ning Fei and or appreciate this build, make sure you like and subscribe, guys, because honestly, he is just absolutely goated. And he wasn't even one of my favorites until I started playing him, and I was like, oh my god, this playstyle is so much fun. He's so fast. And I like that like quick, high skill gap style playing, and that's very much what Ning Fei is. And he's just so good in Calamity Ops, which is basically your in-game content in a lot of ways. Not so great in raids, but again, really good basically everywhere else. So especially anything timed, that's for sure. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hope to see you guys in a video soon. See you later. Bye.